If you're looking for a floating apartment that's going to give you the biggest cabins possible, then this is not the boat for you. But if you're looking for a serious offshore machine, then this absolutely is the boat for you. This is a Hardy 50. It's 26 ton of British Bulldog. It's a serious offshore machine. It's a semi-displacement hull, not a planing hull, so it's designed to punch through the weather, not bounce over it. And it's a Category A. Most boats of this size are Category B offshore. This is Category A ocean. It's serious, serious kit, and we're going to go on board and we're going to do the full tour. One thing you notice straight away is how low these side decks are relative to the pontoon. In fact, they've put gates in here and you can pretty much just step up onto here and in. A lot of boats, of course, they bring these right up high to maximize interior volume. This is not about interior volume. This is about proper boating. It's serious kit. Let's go and have a look. This mechanism here is for the tender. So this basically slides out and then lowers. You float your dinghy onto these chocks, lift it up, and then bring it back in. Look at the bollards on it. In places like this, you'll see them up on the foredeck as well. It's proper rock solid stuff, this. Let's come right the way around over here so we can have a quick look down this side as well. Proper boat, isn't it? Let's go and have a look on board. So the first thing you've got is this aft cockpit area. This table, of course, folds, so it drops back to half this size if you want it to. The other thing you've got here, you'll notice these zips up here, and that's because you can put a canopy around here and enclose this whole area. And these doors open wide. That's like a bifold door, so you can have that one across to 2/3 of it and just have an ordinary door here, or you can open it right out as we've got at the moment. This is a little reversing camera basically up here. It's giving you a view out the back of the boat on the multifunction display. We've got access up to the flybridge, we've got access onto the side decks. We're going to do all of that, but we're going to go inside first of all. And this is what we've got. Now, as I say, you will find 50-foot boats with more space inside than this has got, because this isn't designed from the inside out. This is designed from the outside in. It's designed to be a serious offshore boat, and then whatever the space is left, once they've built the ultimate hull for that, is what you get on the inside. But having said that, there's still a fair amount of space in here. We've got a very nice saloon area, of course, pop-up TV, a load of storage along in places like this. It is designed to be practical and comfortable. It's not just about bashing through storms, but it will do that as well, of course. Galley is up here, links very nicely through, and then this is, again, got the sort of comfort things like the dishwasher here, the all-electric cooking, sink underneath that one, of course. This I like, to use this area here, which of course normally you can't get to because your cooker is here and your dishwasher is here, but there's a little button that we can press, and that's basically the pantry. Complete with tomato ketchup. Fantastic. This is my sort of boat. There we go. If we spin on around a bit further then, plenty of work surface on here, which is nice. And then this again is just a load of storage in places like this. Thusly. And the freezer's over here, and the fridge, of course. There we go. Freezer, and, as promised, fridge. There we go. What's nice is these big side doors. There's one other side, they slide, and they're great, firstly for access, of course, around the boat, but secondly for ventilation. And look at the fact we've got the proper forward sloping windscreen like a pilot boat. And the helm is raised up. You can see there's a couple of steps up here. So you get a really commanding position. When you're sat here, you're close to the screen, you're up high, and your visibility then out is superb. Look at the size of the compass on this as well. Multifunction displays, this has got Hardy's own system, or Cockwell's I should say, because they've developed this and built this. And so in here, this is all the lighting that we've got on here at the minute. Gauges is on here. So if fuel tanks. This is interesting because there's a bunker tank and then there's a keel tank as well. So the keel tank is what fills up first. You can see this is completely full, and as this drops in level, this will start supplying fuel automatically to the main tank. And the idea is, of course, keeps the keel tank right down low in the boat. It's all about sea keeping and stability. Fresh water, you can see we've got here black water as well. That's from the toilets. And then over here we can look at things like the battery conditions, house battery, generator battery, engine batteries, all that kind of stuff is all on there. This one's interesting. We can go into service, and this is for things you wouldn't normally want to get to, but it allows you to get into all sorts of options. So for example, you can alter the delay of the intermittent wipe for the wipers. Overrides for the fire protection system is here. All the sort of stuff that you don't want to get to on a regular basis, you can switch the power steering on and off. That's fuel transfer as well. You can see here, transfer fuel to keel tank, transfer fuel to main tank. So although it's an automatic system, you've got manual override. Fantastic. Let's go back to lighting. There we go. And then over here is navigation. We've got autopilot on here, of course. It's got shaft drive engines, and we've got the controls for them here, but it's also got bow and stern thruster, and everything's hydraulic on here. So the bow and stern thruster are hydraulic, the anchor winch is hydraulic, it's all hydraulic. And this is a twin disc system that links the engines and the thrusters to give you joystick control. So for manoeuvring, you can twist and move this around and configure the boat and command it wherever you want it to go, just by using that single control. But then you've also got, of course, engine controls here, and the bow and the stern thruster controls are here. VHF radios over on that side, and then there's another side access door over here. There's even a proper chart area. Don't see that very often these days, do you? Superb. Let's press on a little bit further. This will take us down, as you probably worked out for yourself, to the lower deck. This one is a washing machine. And then down here there are 3 cabins. Now these are guest cabins. What you can have, you can see there's a bulkhead in the centre there, and there's a cabin here, we'll go into those in a second. But if you want to, you can lose that bulkhead and have a massive full beam owner's cabin back here. And then what is the owner's cabin on this boat becomes a single VIP guest cabin. But this configuration is a 3 cabin layout. So what you've got here is a single cabin, which is quite a generous size. But what you can do with this is this whole bed will pull out to basically there, and then that backrest drops into the gap, and that makes it that into a double. So that's that one. This is, if I remember rightly, Alpi and Wenge is the colour scheme that Leon has chosen for this one. And it looks rather fetching, I think. And then this one is a much bigger guest cabin. So you've got the little dressing table in here, you've got the wardrobe. Storage down along in places like this. And access around the bed, of course, on both sides, which is nice. Now both of these share the day head. That's in here. There we go. And that is a wet room as well. So you've actually got a shower that pulls out of here, and that hooks into here. Very nice. And this is the owner's cabin up here in the bow. Biggest in the boat, of course. This is all lockers along here. Let's close that. Wardrobe. Looks like some sort of dry cleaning done. All these are opening windows along here, and we've got the hatch overhead as well, and a bit of strobing that's definitely not happening in real life. Can I make it stop? Go on. Nearly. Anyway, dressing table over here, and this one has toilet and sink, the heads of course basically in there, These are for ventilators up here. You'll see those on the outside when we go around the outside. These little grills here are a dehumidifying system that's built into the boat. There's obviously heating on here as well. Now you might have thought there's no shower in there, and you would be right, because that's over here. There we go, proper separate shower. Again with the vents up above, and you can see them up here as well. I'll show you those when we go out. Now if you opt for the full beam cabin back here, that gets a similar arrangement with a separate toilet and a separate shower. So it just depends how you can configure the boat. And as I said right at the beginning, this is not a boat designed to maximise interior volume, it's designed to maximise seakeeping. So it is a little more compromised than a great big fat flybridge boat, but the point is that that boat will not be a category A, and it will not do what this boat will do. It just depends what you want. Okay, let's go and take a wander around the outside. There's a few things to show you out here. There's the flybridge first of all. So we'll take a wander up there. That's up here. And then what we've got is a very commanding helm position. This is of course very much an owner-operator boat, because this is the kind of boat that's bought by a serious boating enthusiast. It's a connoisseur's boat. If you're not into driving the boat yourself, you're probably not going to buy one of these, to be perfectly frank. So everything's repeated up here. You've got again that operating system for the boat, the multifunction display, VHF radio, thruster controls, the joystick, all of that. That's all here. And then this is the view that you get out across the front. And then a nice sheltered area here, because you're quite deep in the boat. And again, it's quite social because people are all sat together when you're underway. That's a really nice area. Life rafters up here. Again, you can see how serious this is. It's got a hydrostatic release on it. What that means is that if the boat were to sink, the life raft would set off automatically and release itself. Again, it's kind of, you know, serious, proper, heavy-duty offshore stuff. It's not the sort of thing you normally find on a leisure boat of this size, but this is not a normal leisure boat. These are sink underneath that one, and grill underneath that one. And again, normally you just have these like that and they'd stay there, but this has got these so that if you're in serious rough weather, they don't go popping up. And there's a fridge down here as well. And then right at the back, you've got this great seating area around the back. Table will unfold. There's supports to support these when they're open. They're down underneath here like this. And that gives you a nice dining area at the back of the boat. And no radar arch, it's got a proper little mast in the centre, look at that. So radar is up on the top of there, also antenna, nav lights, all that kind of stuff. But again, it's kind of its little ship stuff, isn't it? Fantastic. This is great. Let's press on a bit further. I'll take you around the decks, and I've got a couple more areas to show you as well. So big steps up around here, and you're immediately then on the inside of this. Love these engine vents. That's very nicely done. And these Cockwell's grills here, because Cockwell's build these now. And these are actually for water. They're scuppers for water. So when water comes sluicing down here, when you're punching through big waves, they drain through there and out off the boat. You can see it just there. That's where it goes out. More engine vents here. So these are all sort of inboard rather than being in the hull as they often are. Let's come right on through. These are these side doors again. They're obviously the outside of the side doors. And those vents I mentioned, here they are. Again, it's proper little ship stuff, isn't it? I mean, it really does apply to this. Fantastic. Up here, look at these serious bollards they put on here, and a double set of fair leads. There's a little section so as the rope goes round. You see how that spins? It's not rubbing. Anchor winches here, and that is access down, big waterproof hatch to get down to the chain locker. Fantastic. Let's stop and take a look back from up here. Awesome, isn't it? Right, let's go down here. Look how deeply bulwarked these are as well. You really feel like you're in the boat as you walk around it. And nice high rails as well. That's the other side access door. And again, engine vents and scuppers and all that sort of thing down here on the outside. And then we can loop around the back. And here I'm going to show you if I can release these little fellas. Twist as well, of course. There we go. And that one. This is a massive lazarette down here, which is fantastic for this owner because they do a lot of sort of adventuring where they disappear off, distances with the boat, and then they want to have windsurfers and kayaks and bikes and all that sort of stuff. So this just gives you a huge area. Look how big this is. It goes right across the boat. And again, you can get to everything. All the steering gear is back there. Fantastic. And the other thing we find down here is a seakeeper. So that's a gyro stabilizer there in the centre. Plenty of lighting in here as well. That's a nice space. Okay, we'll come back out of there because the last thing to talk about, last but definitely not least, is engines. There we go, we'll pop that one back down. Thusly, now this is slightly complicated, not terribly complicated, because what you need to do here is release this table at the front end because it's hinged. You can see the hinge for it there, which means that when this hatch comes up this way, this, instead of doing that, can go up onto there. It's not a problem unless you're holding a GoPro, and then it's a bit tricky. So instead we're going to use a bit of magical video editing. Open us, hatch us. Now the standard engines in this boat are a pair of Volvo Penta D11 725s, but this particular one has been specced up with a pair of huge D13 800s. They're big motors in here, and they're giving this boat about 28 knots flat out. With the other engines, they're reckoning probably more like about 26. But yes, very big, heavy-duty D13 motors in here. Range, you're looking at about 350 miles at cruising speed, which would be about 19 knots. If you drop back to displacement speeds, as ever, you're getting a lot further. You're probably looking at about 1,000 miles. So it's got some serious range when you want it. It's got performance as well, especially with these motors in. Now this is an inspection hatch. If you're doing serious work to these engines, it is possible to get all of this floor up. It's not something you do just for just for fun, but the option is there. If you ever had a serious problem, you could enable that. And then what they've also done is put things like filters right at the back here. So fuel filters and water strainers, all that kind of stuff is back where you can get it. So they've made it as practical as possible, but the fact remains these are really monster engines in this boat, so they're taking up a fair bit of space. But yeah, that is the engine space, well lit and fairly easy to walk down into once you've got the hatch up. Brilliant. Let's come back out of there, let's reverse back out, and we'll magic that back down again. Okay, so that's that fella back down again. And that, I think, pretty much covers it. But yeah, that is an impressive bit of kit, isn't it? That is a proper little ship. Let's wander up to the bow. Fantastic. And I am going to stand here and I'm going to say massive thanks to Cockwell's, and in particular Dave Cockwell himself, who gave me a personal tour of this one. Big fan of the channel, and hello Dave if you're watching. And massive thanks, of course, to you guys for watching it. Let me know what you think of that one. It's something a little bit different. It's not a boat for everybody, but for somebody who wants this sort of thing, they really want this sort of thing, and it's a serious, serious bit of kit. And we'll catch you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.